It is Tuesday, October 29th here at the West End Gun Club. It's just after 7. We're out here at the Rimfire Range to do a run-through of the November 2024 NRL22 Course of Fire. Sun didn't come out till around 7, so I was walking around in the dark for the past hour or so, hour and 30 minutes, just getting stuff out of the condense container and set up, and then getting all the stuff out as far as my equipment and getting prepped to do this run-through. It's pretty cold this morning. It's about 44 degrees on the Kestrel, which is cold for Southern California. I think last Sunday when we were last out here on the Rimfire Range for the October match, it was about 80 degrees. And so we've seen a good, 35, 40 degree dip in a couple days. It's starting to feel like fall here in Southern California for real. We did have a small heat wave a couple weeks ago, but now it's getting low as far as temps. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and get my gun warmed up and dirty, get some chrono data with a minus plus while it's this temperature, and then take care of a couple minor things, and we'll start this run through the November Course of Fire. First stage in the Course of Fire that we're going to run through is called I Keep My Feathers Numbered. 12-round stage, 120-second part time. We have 4 sets of targets. 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch KYL at 45 yards, 3/4 inch and 1 inch KYL at 55 yards, 2 inch on a single hanger at 65, and a 3 inch on a single hanger at 95. So let's review this really quickly though. The first set of targets, the KYLs at 45, is targets 1. The KYL at 55 yards is target 2. The 65-yard target is target 3, and the 95-yard target is target 4. It's important when we do the description here. No real restrictions here. You're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, you'll engage the targets with 1 shot each in the following order and manner. 55-gallon barrel, targets 4, 3, 4. Chair seat, targets 3, 4, 3. 55-gallon barrel, target 2, large, small, large. Chair seat, target 1, small, large, small. It's a memorization stage, so you're going to have to read this description and just kind of acclimate yourself to it, maybe write stuff down and have it on a card if you forget. I think the easy way to remember this is you're going to just alternate between 55-gallon barrel and then chair seat 4 different times, 4 positions. But your target engagement is going to be far, working in. So target 434, 343, and then you're going to go back here, and then you're going to work down to the second target, large, small, large, and here to the first target, small, large, small. That's how I'm going to remember as far as I'm concerned. It's just working my way in, alternating positions, and then kind of alternating the target sequence between 4-3-4, 3-4-3, and then large, small, small. And then 55-gallon barrel, chair seat, they're 5 feet apart, so there's going to be some movement here. 4 different positions, but let's go ahead and try this one out. Target 2, large, small, large. Large, small, large. Missed. Gotta rush that total shot. Small, large, small. on the ground. Impact. Missed. Impact. Drop 2. 110 on the clock. Let's go ahead and break this down as far as my tactics or approach. When I looked at the stage description, I realized that I was going to go ahead and dial for target 3. So 0.4 today at 65, and then it's 1.6 for the 95, and so I held up 1.2. So I was holding at 1.2 straight away, then 1.2 for 434. Switched to the chair, went over here. Then I just stretched it away 3, held up 1.2 for the 95, then stretched straight away for the 65. Then I dialed it back down to my 50-yard zero, my zero stop, did a mag change, switched back, and then I shot a little bit up for this 55 and a little bit down for the 45. And that was just my strategy there. You can elect to just go ahead and keep it on your zero stop and hold over for the other targets the whole entire time. I just felt a little bit more comfortable doing it this way. Of course, you just have to remember that, hey, you just did that, and not to forget that you're holding over, because sometimes you do forget you're holding over. Outside of that, the bags use the Gamer Plate Area 419 rail changer with a Coltac D bag. That worked for me. And then my my Coltac Mega bag for the chair specifically. Although I should have stacked it a little bit more like this instead of like this to get it off the ground, because I didn't realize that we're shooting level ground. The reason why I have this chair tilted like this is because we're shooting at an upward angle, and if I don't do this, this chair seat will block your vision. So we have to do that. It's kind of a weird nuance with the West End Gun Club because we're shooting at the incline. I do have that 55 KYL out there on a berm. It's like 4 degrees up angle. So that's just the thing with the West End Gun Club you have to deal with. Other than that, this is going to be a stage you just need to move quickly, establish your positions very well. I finished with 10 seconds left. I felt a little bit rushed, although I didn't have much time in the grand scheme of things. I think I probably sat on some shots on the far a little longer than I should have. I should have shot faster to save myself some time for that short KWL, because you kind of freak out when you're shooting the close KWL. Like at 45 yards, a quarter inch is kind of small. And depending on the wind, you could be thrown off, because last Sunday we had some wind and I could not hit the quarter inch KYL. Today, I shot my test groups straight up, like just perfectly centered. So no wind this morning, but depending on the winds, that quarter inch KYL is going to be unforgiving at 45 yards. So you might want to give yourself some time. So I would try to speed through the far targets without missing. Try to shoot that with a faster cadence, and then don't dwell too much on your target. Once you see a good sight picture, pull that trigger. If your sights are on the target, sight on sight picture, just boom, go. And then don't sit on that for too long, so you have time for that small KYL. That's my tactic for this. You may have different options. Oh, one last thing, I did take my bipod off. I kept it off my gun because it's just going to get in the way of the chair, and I can usually get it on the barrel without any issues, but with the chair, it's a lot easier if I don't have my bipod there. Anyway, let's move on to the next stage. Second stage we're running through is called Shoot and Toot and Turkey Trottin. It's another 12-round stage to 120-second part time. We have 3 sets of targets. We have 2 pairs of 1 and 1.5s on double hangers at 56 yards. They're on one stand has a 1 and a 1.5, and another stand has a 1 and a 1.5, and they're split apart. Doesn't say how far. I only placed them like 2 yards apart. Didn't really have an indicator here. And then we have a 2.5 inch on a double hanger at 86 yards, kind of in between those two. No real restrictions here. We have a rooftop and then cinder blocks, 1 cinder block on the left of the rooftop and 2 cinder blocks stacked on the right side of the rooftop. You're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag and action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with 1 shot each in the following order and manner. Left cinder block, left large, right large. Rooftop, left large, middle, aka far, right large. Right cinder blocks, right small, then back on the rooftop, right small, far target, left small. So another memorization stage. I think that's what they're trying to throw into this one as far as this Course of Fire. Easy way to remember, I guess, is just working your way on the large, on the first run through, and then, the first two, and then small on the second two. So let's say that left large, left large, middle, right. So you're going to go large and then left to right, and then go to the center blocks. Then you're going to go right, small, left small, and then rooftop, right small, far target, or the middle target, and left small. So you're going to work your way right to left, but on the small target. So left to right large, right to left small. Hopefully you can remember that. That's why you have the two short targets, the 56-yard targets, the short distance targets far away from each other, and then the 86 yards kind of split in between from your sight picture here, or your POV. So that's going to be the middle target, aka far target. So hopefully you can remember that, but let's go ahead and try to run through this one to see how it goes. Left large, right large, left large, right large. What am I jamming? Left large, right large, left large, middle, left large, middle. 1, 1, 1, 2. Mag change now, maybe. Right small. Right to left small. Right small, left small. Switch. I should move the gun first, then the bag. All right. Okay. Left small, middle. 1, 1. Okay. Don't know if that timer picked me up. 1:03 on the clock. This stage is going to be difficult for some if you don't have good mobility, because there is some significant movement here. You're going to start off on that left center block, right? I used the Area 419 Mini Game Changer adapted Rail X. I can't remember. It's a rail mounted mini or pint sized Game Changer. It's a heavy fill. That's what I used. It was rail attached, Arca attached. And then I basically had nothing underneath. I barely pinched this mega bag for my rear support on the center block, because we are shooting at an upwards angle. From there, I just grabbed my whole gun, put it on this rooftop, use my mega bag for rear support. So basically, you know, left large, right large, switch, left large, middle, right large, and then just toss my bag over to the side, right? And then get into the next position here. And you're gonna have to get your gun up and then transition to that center block, and that's what I just did. You may opt to move the bag a little bit farther. I did not. The reason why I keep my bag close to the mag well for the rooftop is because, you know, I just want to be able to get my buttstock and my mega bag propped up correctly. Because if I have it too far back, it's just a little bit unwieldy for me. So I have it here. If you want to get it further forward, your front support, so you have better balance or fulcrum or leverage, go for it. But from this position, basically going ahead, use my mega bag as my rear support, and then right small, left small, and then transition back, same as before. I think during my run through, I threw my bag here first, and it's like kind of holding the bag, keep her falling. So make sure to throw your rifle first, especially if it's perfectly balanced like mine is. You can just toss your rifle up on here. Go ahead and orient it. then let it sit and then get your rear support and hold that, because if you put your rear support forward there and you're trying to grab your rifle, it's going to slide off and it might just roll over. So just get your rifle up there first, get your bag. That might be better. So, or worst case, or another option is to have this thing kind of cinched to your belt. I know guys have bungee cords and they'll put the bungee cord here, but on their belt line. But that's kind of it. Breathing kind of hard because you're just getting up, getting on there and getting down, getting back up. So a lot of movement there. Gonna be using your legs. Wasn't very comfortable in my position on the rooftop the second time around. But other than that, it's pretty easy to hit these targets. It's just memorizing the order and then getting used to your positions. But again, easiest way to remember it is you're going to start left to right for the first 2 iterations and you're going to shoot large. Then when you switch down to the cinder block, you're going to shoot right to left, small, and then you're going to go here, right to left, small, but you're going to engage the middle target included as well while you're on your rooftop. Pretty easy to remember if you think about it that way. Let's move on to the next stage. The next stage we're running is called pop-up turkey timer. 10-round stage. We only have a single target. It's a 3-inch on a double hanger at 78 yards. This is a pyramid stage, and it is also the bonus time stage. So if you finish with extra time on the clock, get bonus points. Just before we start, the rung positions are marked so that this 3rd rung, the middle rung, is marked number 1. Second from the top is number 2. Second from the top again on the right side is 3. Third from the top or middle on the right side is 4. And then second from the bottom right side is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, you'll engage the targets with 2 shots from the 5 marked positions. If you can't reach the 4th rung, which I'm assuming is this one, then all positions will drop down 1 rung. So you'll offset by 1. Position 1 would be 2. We'll be on the second last rung, and position 5 would be on the last rung. So you basically, if you can't reach this rung, you will offset this down 1, and then this whole set down 1. So pretty easy to remember. And again, I don't know if your match director at your venue will mark it, but I'm going to go ahead and mark it for make things easier for people. 1, 2 on this duct tape, 3, 4, 5. Not really much to say here. Just 2 shots in each position to move. So you're shooting 5 distinct positions with 2 shots each. Let's try this one out. Barely clipped it, shot it when it was moving. Gotta wait for it to sit. Which time is that? 67:17. I felt this stage was relatively simple for me based on my setup. Opted not to use a second bag, and I just used a rail-mounted Game Changer, pint-sized, heavy fill. And all I did basically is, I'm kind of cheating, is my gun balances really well. All I do is just set the rifle down, and I'm just basically shooting glorified bench rest at this point, holding the gun in place. It doesn't move. Try not to manipulate it, and just pull in the trigger, and it's on. And that's it, and shifting from position to position. Such a heavy gun with the balance, even with this upward angle, it's not a big deal. I can just manipulate the bag, get the gun to settle in the position I like, close the bolt, fine tune it, and then try not to induce it too much. I can push against the gun if I need to left and right adjustment, and then pull the trigger, and I'm on, and just quick movement. So my setup is optimized pretty well for this pyramid, and so that's why it's easy for me. Not sure, depending on what your guns are like. Definitely would recommend just a heavy. I want to say you need a heavy, but I think a heavy does help more often on this type of barricade, in terms of having the heavy fill that's very stable and creates a very firm platform for you to sit on. That'll keep that gun still, and I can just keep the gun in certain positions, and based on my balance, I can adjust it and it'll stay in one spot. Even at a nice, this is a pretty high 10-degree, that's about 4 or 5, and so like level, and so it can stay in one spot and it's pretty stable. It's pretty easy to move around the pyramid because we're shooting only on the edges, and then I just roll my gun in like that and I'm on pretty well. Just a little tactic here, if you need to, I always recommend trying to get the bag and the rifle close to the wood here. You can kind of use that to give you some extra stability, kind of game it a little bit, depending on how your rifle setup is. But again, that's how I shot. I didn't use a bag. I just free-handed it like this and just get behind the gun, square up my body, adjust my gun until I find a spot, let it sit, settle in, it's stable, pull trigger, good. But let's go on to the next stage. The next stage we're running through is called Never Trust the Course of Fire Without a Tank Trap. Tank trap stage, of course, and we have a single bank of targets. We have a 2-inch and a 2.5-inch on a double hanger at 75 yards. No real restrictions here. You're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, you'll engage the targets in the following order and manner. Left tip, large, 2 times. Right tip, small target, 2 times. Middle tip, large then small. Center, small then large. Then you're going to get prone under the tank trap, large and small. It's another memorization stage. So here's the order. Left, large, twice. Small, right, twice. Middle, large then small. Center, small then large. And then prone, large and small. Basically, you just got to remember that you're alternating large, small, small, large after you shoot the first 2 iterations. So large, large, small, small, large, small, small, large, large, small. That's the best I can give you guys. You're going to shoot left tip, right tip, middle tip or back tip, left, right, back, center, prone. Left, right, back, center, prone, large, large, small, small, large, small, small, large, large, small. Even I had to think about that for a second. If you can't remember, you're gonna have to write it down. I think this is going to, I think just based on this 3rd stage that we've run through with this kind of memorization, it's gonna be a very fun day of shooting for people. Let's try this one out. Large, then small. Large. And small. Find my target there. Back tip, large, small. Small, large. And then prone. Should have had these legs out earlier. Large, small. Am I missing around? I'm missing around. Good to go. This stage is really straightforward. The only little caveat here is that you have to shoot prone. So that kind of changes things up, and I forgot to do something. We'll mention that in a moment. But again, memorization is key here. the way I mentally visualize it or remember it is basically think large, small, 2 shots per position, moving around the tank trap, you know, front left, front right, back, center, under, and then large, large, small, small, then large, small, small, large, large, small. That's, you just gotta have to remember that. I don't know if you have a hard time remembering that. All I can say is write it down. It's pretty simple though, because you're not dialing anything. Just dial straight away, because you're not dialing or holding for anything. You're just one set of targets. That being said, I had a really stable setup again, just using the pint size game changer heavy fill that's rail attached, so I don't have to really do much movement around here. I did use this Coltac. This is a Coltac bag that they make. I got this mainly for is it Coltac or Weebad? No, it's Armageddon gear. Sorry, my mistake. It's an Armageddon gear bag. I saw this and it was a light fill, and I'm gonna try this out for NRL Hunter. But I just attached it to the bottom here, and I use this for my rear support and prone. That's basically why I had it on there. You can just have a small bag, but this is the smallest bag I had other than my pint-sized game changer that I had in my Jeep. So I just use that, and I use that for the prone position. So if you have, what you can do is probably just have if you're not going to run rail attached bag, just run your bag in the hand and then just use it on the tank trap, and then use that for rear support if you're going to single bag. But since I ran rail attached, I had a second bag. That's the only reason I have a second bag. The one little glitch I had is that I forgot to adjust my bipod. Since we're shooting at an uphill angle, about 4 degrees, 5 degrees, I didn't have enough extension on my bipod legs. I think it was fully collapsed, and I spent time on the clock trying to get this thing extended. So for those shooting at the West End Gun Club, be sure to start off your stage with your bipod folded, but the legs extended out that you need to in order to get the height on the gun for that upward angle. That's my only little thing or nuance that I wanted to mention for anyone coming out to our matches at the West End Gun Club next month. But let's go on to the last stage in this course of fire. The last stage we're going to run through is called It's All Gravy. It's a 12-round stage, 120-second part time. We have 2 sets of targets. We have a 2.5 inch on a single hanger at 84 yards and a 3 inch on a single hanger at 100 yards. No real restrictions here. It's a ladder stage, but we have these rungs marked as such, starting from the bottom, working our way up. Number 2, number 4, skipping this, 1, 3. 2, 4, 1, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to start standing rifle at the high ready, all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, you'll engage the target in the following order and manner. Position 1, 4th rung. So I don't know why they call it the 4th rung, position 1. Oh, sorry, 4th rung. So just say 1. 1, near 2, far 1. So near target twice, far target once. Number 2, far target once, near target twice. Position 3, near target twice, far target once. Position 4, far target once, near target twice. So basically, going to shoot 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. However, it's going to be near, far, far, near, near, far, far, near. It's going to be really confusing on this one. So just hopefully your match director will number these ladders. Hopefully he'll number, or he or she will number the ladder. Otherwise, it's going to make it even more confusing. But just think of it this way: assuming they're marked, you're gonna go in the order 1, 2, 3, 4, near to far, far to near, near to far, far to near. But you're gonna go 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. It's really confusing. So that's how you're alternating. You're always going to alternate near to far, far to near, near, far, far, near. But then you're also going to alternate 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. Or if you want to remember this, you're always going to shoot the near target twice. You're never going to shoot the far target twice. That's another way to look at it. If you're unable to reach the 5th rung, the top rung, also known as position 3, I guess, then position 1 and position 3 will drop down 1 rung. So 1 and 3 will shift down. So offset these 2 right here. That just looks like it's going to be it. Let's try this one out and see if I can remember everything. fall. Anybody's gonna fall off the ledge there. That's a ladder. Whoa, that's tippy. Near, far, far, near. Last one. Far, near. Come on, quit moving. Shoot, that target's moving too much. There you go. Whew. 110 elapsed. This stage is actually easy to remember, although it's got a lot of movement here. And let's just break this down as far as the equipment again. I've been using this entire match, I guess, or this course of fire. I've been sticking with this Game Changer pint-sized rail mounted using the Arca Area 419 Arca rail. It's a single rail. I can't remember what they call it. I think they call it a Rail X or something, or the... Yeah, I have no idea. I can't remember the name of that product, but it's just a single rail that holds the pint size together. It's not really a plate per se, although a plate would probably be better. But I can manipulate it out pretty well. And then I'm using this Armageddon gear attached to the back of that just so I don't have to hold it. I can't remember what that thing is called, but it's just basically a thin bag that I can use for rear support in multiple ways, stacked or flat, different manners. So anyway, I used those two bags, and it was pretty easy to remember because all I had to do was think near, far, always shooting the near twice, far once. So get in position here, near twice, far once, then changing to far, near. So back down to the bottom rung, prone, far, near, near, then 3, near, near, far, and then 4, far, near, near. So pretty easy to remember from that standpoint. Now, if they don't number your ladders, then your match director is going to be pretty mean about this if he doesn't, or he or she does not mark the ladders. But I'll do that so it's easier for me to remember. And then my magazine change, I probably should have done it here. I opted to do it up here. I don't know. I think it would be better to do my magazine change while I'm prone, just because I have more control of the gun. Especially, I ended up shooting the 5th rung. I decided to just go ahead and shoot it. Surprisingly, it was stable enough. I had to get on my tippy toes because I am short. For those of you who never met me, I am pretty short. So I kind of just got on my toes here, and I did put my right leg up for a little bit of support and stability, but for the most part, was able to shoot in this manner. Stable enough, but it's a lot of muscle control here, muscle use. So I don't recommend this, but if you can do it, you can try to get away with it. Don't feel ashamed to need to shift down if you need to. Although I'm not sure if you're going to know that, because they said if you can't shoot this, if you can't shoot the top rung, then you're going to have to shift, offset these down 1 each. So, sorry, is it 1 each? Let me double check the course description there. If you're unable to reach the 5th rung, the position 1 and position 3 will drop down. So they're going to offset these two 1. So you're going to have to check that beforehand. And by rule, you're not supposed to get on the props before you're on the line. Like, that's kind of in the rule book. But I guess in this case, you're going to have to know ahead of time if you can't reach the 5th rung, whether or not you're going to shoot that beforehand. So I don't know. If you feel you're too short, I guess maybe the best way to think about it is probably if the rung is above your chin, I guess, because that's kind of tall for me. That might be the point in which you decide, hey, it's too tall. But I went ahead and shot it like that. I can do it. Again, you're putting a lot of muscle into it by just getting your on your tippy toes and kind of getting some elevation up there. I do not recommend people shooting like this. I would discourage that. If you're 2 feet off the ground on this ladder with the rifle in hand, I think that's going to be an unsafe condition. I would call that unsafe, and I would say you have to shoot offset lower from this 5th rung. So in any case, that's it for this stage. No other tips here. Other than I didn't dial, I just had 1.1 and 1.8, and I just dialed for the near target and just held over 0.7, 0.6, 0.7 for the 100-yard target. Anyway, that's it for this last stage. Let's go ahead and clean up, and then I'm probably going to go shoot some center fire a little bit, but we'll wind down this range vlog with a discussion and summary of this course of fire. Reflecting back on the stages of the November 2024 NRL22 Course of Fire, I think it's going to be moderately difficult only because of the stage cadence, as far as the procedures that you're required to go through, as far as memorizing different orders of targets and positions. So I think that's going to be the moderate difficulty. But if you look at the targets, they're pretty forgiving for the most part. The KYL stage is probably the most unforgiving aspect, but the rest of them have some pretty forgiving targets. And so I feel that it's not too difficult if you think about it, and this is going to emphasize a lot on focus. So my one problem when I'm shooting in my match is because I run it. 1, I run the match. 2, I'm often the squad leader for my squad. And then I'm trying to record video. And so I'm doing all these different things. And a lot of times I'm not focused on the stage description. And so I think this is going to really hammer home that, hey, you need to think before, like prepare yourself mentally about what you're doing, how you're going to do it, and then executing it like on the clock. Like you got to think. So I think this is going to really emphasize focus. And so this is probably a good course of fire for beginners, only because it makes you really, think. Like a lot of people are just too casual, and it's nice to be able to have fun at the range, because we all know each other, especially if you're a regular at your venue, like, hey, you're having conversations and whatnot, sometimes talking about non-shooting stuff. And so this is a good exercise. This match will be a good exercise as far as focus and mental preparedness. So definitely, I recommend coming out to this match. Even if you never shot a match before, I think this is a good one to really try out, because it really does hammer home that emphasis on focus and mental preparedness. Outside of that, the rest of it, aside from that whole memorization of stuff, I think the stages are relatively straightforward. You're doing a lot of movements on these stages, but I think most people should be able to do relatively well as far as getting shots downrange. And especially if your rifle's set up very well for you as far as balance. Not much else to say here. I think if you saw my last range vlog with that ending in the outro, I said our next match in November is Thanksgiving Day weekend. That's incorrect. Our next match is, I believe, November 24th, 23rd, 24th, whichever is the fourth Sunday, but that is the Sunday before Thanksgiving, not of Thanksgiving Day weekend. So just correcting myself on that one. So definitely come on out if you want to shoot the match. Will be November, fourth Sunday. It should be a good match. But I'm going to go ahead and clean up the rest of my gear. I already stored everything in the conex container. I'm going to go put some rounds down range in my 6.5 Creedmoor before I leave the range for today. I do have the day off, although I did commit myself to a meeting at 1400 because it's the only my schedule is so busy in October through November, and I had to take a day off before the end of the month. 1, I wanted to shoot the Course of Fire, and 2, I needed to take the day off. Like I literally would lose it if I didn't take it, and this is the only day I could take it. So did commit myself to a meeting, so I am going to call in to a work call at 2. Anyway, that's it for today, October 29th, Tuesday here at the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog. Just a little bonus shooting session at the end of the Course of Fire run through. Came out to the upper range. Going to put some rounds down range with the 6.5 NRL Hunter build. I just had 100 yards, but if you can tell on camera, that's a different muzzle brake. Instead of the Area 419 Hellfire match, I now have the Area 419 Hellfire TI or titanium. It weighs about 2.5 ounces roughly lighter than the match. It's a little shorter because it's only a 3-port versus a 4-port. But we saved a little weight. So I just wanted to see how this one works. And as far as any group shift or whatnot. And we'll see how this one goes. Don't plan on shooting too much, but we got enough rounds to adjust if needed. Probably should go ahead and put my other ears on. Whoa. Round's not even on paper. What the heck happened there? Did it go over the top? Okay. Shoot the bottom one. Wow, point of impact shift. Significant. Huh. Significant point of impact shift. Oh, I am dialed. I am dialed up a tenth though, but all right. Let's not waste any rounds. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this. Go grab my toolkit. First rounds went over the top, so I fired on this bottom one. We hit here twice. Made some adjustments. I threw this off a little bit, and I wasn't holding level. But once I adjusted, I think it's 4/10 of a mil down, 1 mil right. This is it. That's 3 shots right there. And then I fired one up here, but I kind of a perspective shift or a zero shift on my face. But I think we're good on the zero. Bit surprised by the point of impact shift. About 3 or 4/10 of a mil. Switching brakes. Other thing I wanted to show off in this bonus segment is this Calypso wind meter. I picked this up. Granted, I think I shouldn't have because I've heard some mixed stories about how capable it is. So it's basically an audio-based wind sensor. People were claiming this is the greatest thing on the planet. However, it's not. There's like no real documentation on how you actually use this device. Because I compare it with the phone, and it's telling me that it's adjusting that there's some wind values real time, like 0.2 miles an hour. However, I'm not entirely sure how you pair it with your binoculars because that's what everyone claims you can do. And it says pair AB compatible devices, which I did do, and it's currently paired to this, like my app, but I don't know if this is paired to this. And there's like no wind whatsoever, so I can't see any values changing in this thing. Well, it is changing. Well, 328. Yeah, it actually might be changing. So I'm seeing some windage changes here. Okay, it is changing. So I think it might actually be working, but I'm not entirely sure if I actually need the app on at the same time. So I'm still messing around with this. So the 1 mile an hour wind came up. And so I did see the windage value inside my binos change. So the real question is if I kill the app, like I turned off the app, like I hard killed it, is the bino connected to the wind meter still? And I'm going to guess no. Oh, it is. It's changing. So I'm seeing some windage values changing. 0.49, 0.51, 5/10 of a mil. Now 0.0, 0.1. So apparently it is working. 0.38, 0.28, sorry. So apparently it is paired. It kind of sucks though if I really need to use the app because ideally I wouldn't want to have to use the app to pair this to the binos. Anyway, it's just another toy to play with. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have bought it because I just wanted to see it, but I'm not entirely sure like I'm going to keep it. I wanted to see what it can do and how capable it is, but we'll see how it goes. But apparently it is updating in the bino. 0.28. That's just standard no wind. 0.26. So it is adjusting. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but I'll have more information on this when I have more time to play with it.